When it comes to phishing attacks, all it takes is one dirty hook set in one employee to snatch up your vital data. According to NTT's recent threat intelligence report, 25% of insider threats within a company are hostile, while the remaining 75% are due to accidental or negligent activity. Even if you have state-of-the-art email security in place, one misstep leaves the digital door open for anyone to come in and gain access to your most crucial data. No matter how strong your firewall, network infrastructure, or IT and security team may be, the most important step that you can take to protect your company's data is providing your team with training that helps them learn and identify new phishing threats as soon as they hit their inbox. Verizon's cybersecurity report states an attacker distributing 10 phishing emails has a 90% chance of at least one user being hooked. Training personnel on different types of social engineering tactics is one of the best forms of cybersecurity. Why hack a computer when you could trick a human? Below are 7 types of phishing attacks and how to identify them. Let's start with mass market emails. The most common form of phishing is the general mass mail type, where someone sends an email pretending to be someone else and tries to trick the recipient into doing something, usually logging into a website or downloading malware. Attacks frequently rely on email spoofing, where the email header, the form field, is forged to make the message appear as if it was sent by a trusted sender. However, phishing attacks don't always look like a UPS delivery notification email, a warning message from PayPal about its passwords expiring, or an Office 365 email about storage quotas. Some attacks are crafted to specifically target organizations and individuals, and others rely on methods other than email. In fact, some phishing scammers are even using the vast reach of social media to tap into new, unsuspecting victims. Then we have spear phishing, going after a specific target. Phishing attacks get their name from the notion that fraudsters are phishing for random victims by using spoofed or fraudulent email as bait. Spear phishing attacks extend the phishing analogy, as attackers are specifically targeting high-value victims and organizations. Instead of trying to get banking credentials for 1,000 customers, the attacker may find it more lucrative to target a handful of businesses. Spear phishing attacks are extremely successful because the attacker spends a lot of time crafting information specific to the recipient, such as referencing a conference the recipient may have attended or sending a malicious attachment where the file name refers to a topic the recipient is interested in. Then there is whaling, going after the big one. A phishing attack specifically targeting the enterprise's top executives is called whaling, as the victim is considered to be high value and the stolen information will be more valuable than what a regular employee may offer. The account credentials belonging to a CEO will open more doors than entry-level employees. The goal is to steal data, employee information, and ultimately cash. Whaling also requires additional research because the attacker needs to know who the intended victim communicates with and the kind of discussions they have. Examples include references to customer complaints, legal subpoenas, or even a problem in the executive suite. Attackers typically start with social engineering to gather information about the victim and the company before crafting the phishing message that will be used in the whaling attack. Then we have number 4, business email compromise. Someone is pretending to be the CEO. Aside from the mass-distributed general phishing campaigns, criminals target key individuals in finance and accounting departments via business email compromise scams and CEO email fraud. By impersonating financial officers and CEOs, these criminals attempt to trick victims into initiating money transfers into unauthorized accounts. Typically, attackers compromise the email account of a senior executive or financial officer by exploiting an existing infection or via a spear phishing attack. The attacker lurks and monitors the executive's email activity for a period to learn about processes and procedures in the company. The actual attack takes the form of a false message that looks like it has come from the compromised executive's account being sent to someone who is a regular recipient. The email appears to be important and urgent and requests that the recipient send a wire transfer to an external or unfamiliar bank account. The money ultimately lands in the attacker's bank fund. Then there is clone phishing. Copies are just as effective 9 times out of 10. Clone phishing requires the attacker to create a nearly identical replica of a legitimate message to trick the victim into thinking that it is real. The email is sent from an address resembling the legitimate sender, and the body of the message looks the same as a previous message. The only difference is that the attachment or the link in the message has been swapped out with a malicious one. The attacker may say something along the lines of having to resend the original or an updated version to explain why the victim was receiving the same message again. This attack is based on a previously seen legitimate message, making it more likely that users will fall for the attack. An attacker who has already infected one user may use this technique against another person who has also received the message that is being cloned. In another variation, the attacker may create a cloned website with a spoof domain to trick the victim. Then there's Vishing, phishing over the phone. Vishing stands for voice phishing, and it entails the use of a phone or phone system. Typically, the victim receives a call with a voice message disguised as a communication from a financial institution. The message might ask the recipient to call a number and enter their account information or PIN for security or other official purposes. However, the phone number rings straight to the attacker via a voice over IP service. Recently, criminals have started calling victims pretending to be Apple tech support and providing users with a number to call to resolve the security problem. The same thing could be said for Windows, Microsoft, or any other number of tech entities. Like the old Windows tech support scam, these scams take advantage of user fears of their devices getting hacked. In reality, they're currently in the process of being hacked. Finally, we have snowshoeing, spreading poisonous messages. Snowshoeing, or hit-and-run spam, requires attackers to push out messages via multiple domains and IP addresses. Each IP address sends out a low volume of messages, so reputation or volume-based spam filtering technologies can't recognize and block malicious messages right away. Some of these messages may make it to the email inboxes before the filters learn to block them. Ultimately, these are just a few of the many ways that attackers are targeting your data online. But the most important step you can take in email security is knowing what to look for. No matter the technology or the software that you might have in place, no matter how many filters you might apply to your inbox, the best filter is knowing exactly what to look for. If you are ready to take the next step towards comprehensive email security, our team at SeedSpark is ready to provide industry-leading security tools and training to your entire organization. Learn more about our company by visiting our website or contacting our team today to learn more. Thanks for taking time to check out this episode of SeedSpark Sessions. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to subscribe on podcast services, or of course you can find the show on YouTube as well. Links to those pages and our social media channels will be down below, or you can always hit us up on the official SeedSpark website for more information on the topics we covered, or to learn more about the services we offer. But we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.